All right, so we got the using Unity engine.ui, and then here we have the login view, and that is going to hold the input fields, right?
Yep.
All right, public input field, input or input field? Yeah, input field. All right, and this will have in the login inputs. We'll have the login input and the password input. Okay, so we have our view. Oops, let me go back to this client. All right, we got our view. Let's see here, we got our view. And why is it not compiling? Let me go ahead and see. All right, there we go. Okay, 1 second here. I'm gonna go to the Facebook dev group and post there for people to come watch.
Is it live?
Yeah, it's live right now. Unity 3D game dev. Live. Creating an MVC. What's it called? Like creating an MVC view or creating an MVC for the GUI, I guess. For the GUI and the network chat system. Alright, let's see here. Alright, that posts. Alright, good deal. So, let's see here. Okay, so, alright, we got our input fields. I'm going to put in the login. So, we have the username and the password. And let me rename that to password input, so our user input. So, we have our username input and our password input. Alright, so that's stored there. So now, what is the now what goes next? Where does the
Alright,
where does the model go?
Next comes up the model.
Is the model a mono behavior or is that just a class?
It's just a regular class.
Okay.
It doesn't inherit any Unity stuff.
Good deal. Alright, I assume it's just basically a data container, right?
Yeah.
So public string username, public string password.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now we have the controller, and what is the controller? Where does the controller live?
The controller lives on the parent of the UI.
So on the canvas?
So the
or on the login?
below that on login, yeah. Login.
Okay. Also with the view?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to put the login controller here. Alright, and what are we doing in the login controller? Is this going to, this is actually what's going to process the
That's
login,
going to
right?
be, yeah, that's going to be the login logic.
Okay, so here we'll have like public void login. So like when you press the button, it's going to call this.
Yeah.
Alright, I assume
I prefer to make my controllers singletons.
Okay.
And use an instance.
Okay, yeah, I gotcha. So we'll go ahead and do public. Whoops, give me a second here. So private static login controller, and then public static login controller instance, and we're gonna get. All right, if it's null, we're just gonna throw an exception. If instance is null, throw new exception. And then we're gonna return the instance. So return the instance. Alright, now what? So we have our login controller, we have that, we have this login function that will get called and process the login, right? Using the data from the model. Is that right? Whoop, Sam, I lose you?
Yo, yo, yo.
Yeah, okay, can you hear me?
So, yeah, on the login view, you would also have a reference to the model.
On the
and then
view?
You would, yeah, on the view. You would have a reference to the login model.
So
a
the
public.
login. Oh, okay. So wait. Okay. So the view. Okay, so the view has a reference to. Okay, so it has a reference to the login
Yeah.
controller through the singleton. What about the login model? How does it have reference to that?
Oh no, so go back to the view and then create a new variable, call it public login model,
Oh, okay.
and then just call it login model, and then create a getter.
All right. So here, give me 1 second here. This is the login view. Okay, so public login model. This is the login model. I see what you're saying. And then here we'll create a property for it.
You can just create a getter and setter for the login model,
Okay,
and then
yeah.
whenever
Okay,
it gets
gotcha.
gotten.
Yeah. So just turn into an auto property.
Yeah.
All right. So we have our login
And
model.
expand the getter to make it the method. Like put the brackets.
Oh, okay. Oh, it needs to be a actual property.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. What are we getting?
So when it gets called, do return new login model.
Return new login model.
And then
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
put
So
put the brackets.
Yeah. So return new login model. Yeah. Okay, so it's gonna create that login model.
Yeah, based on the input fields.
Yeah. Does it need a set? Does it need a set?
You can use the brackets to make the dynamic constructor.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It doesn't need a set.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, so here we're gonna do so return new login model, and we're gonna just set its constructor properties here. So we're gonna go ahead and say the username is equal to the username input dot text, and the password is equal to the password input dot text. Yeah. I'm sorry, I totally have that backwards. The password. Oh, weird, I actually don't have access to that for some reason. Oh, whoops. Commas, and nothing. Alright, cool. So basically what's going to happen here is I'm going to get that a new login model, and I'm going to set its username to the text and password to the text, yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, so now we have our login view done with a reference to the login model. Now from our controller, what are we doing?
Alright, so on the controller, you would copy and paste your login logic from the, I think it's the client script that you added.
From the client script. Oh yeah, okay. You're talking about like creating that message handler and stuff like that? So process the login from
all the login logic you had.
Right, so we're going to create a login request. So this is the login request, this is the user, and that's going to equal a new login request.
Yep.
Alright, and what we're going to do here is we need to fill in that constructor as well. So we're going to have the connection ID of them. So the connection ID will equal the client.instance.connection.connection ID. And what else is in that login request? I need to set the username, password, request code, and connection ID. So I'm just going to copy those real quickly. And just paste them here so I know what they are. Alright, so connection ID can go last, I guess. Alright, so the username, right? So the username is equal to the what?
You would also hold a reference to the view in the controller.
Alright, and how am I doing that? Should the view be a singleton, or am I creating a view property somehow?
Did you add the view to the scene?
Yeah, the view's in the scene.
Is the controller in the scene?
Yeah. So you just
just public.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll just have a public variable for it. Alright, so the login controller is going to know about the login view, right? So public login view, and we'll call that login view. Alright, and let me go ahead and just fill this in. Alright, let's add that. I got errors. Hold on. Here, hold on. Let me make sure people can. Here, go ahead and talk for a minute, Sam. Login view, right?
Hello, hello, hello.
So public login view, and we'll call that login view. All right, and let me go ahead and just fill this in. All right, let's add that. I got errors. Can you hear that, Sam? Here, hold on. Let me make sure people can. Here, go ahead and talk for a minute, Sam. Login view, right?
Hello, hello, hello.
So public login view, and we'll call that login view. Did you just talk again, or was that the thing? I don't know if the stream is actually playing your voice or not. Just fill this in. It
Hello?
should be. All right, I think it is. There's only one person watching. I don't know if they can hear. Can you hear that, Sam? Here, hold on. Let me make sure people can. Here, go ahead and talk for a minute, Sam. Login view, right?
Hello, hello,
Okay, yeah, your
hello.
voice is in there. Login view. All right, good deal. All right, so let me see here. Okay, so here on the login, right, we have a login view. I'm going to just drag the login view there. So now it has a reference to it. All right, so let's go over to here. Let's see. So we are doing the login view. All right, so now what? So we go to the login controller, and what we're going to do here when we log in, we need to process the login request. Right, so we're going to go ahead and say here the login request. All right, the login request equals new login request. We're going to fill in its stuff. So we have the username to fill in. All right, so we're going to say username equals the login view, right?
Yep.
So here we're going to say login view dot username input dot text. Cool. And then here we have the password.
If you do it that way, you're pretty much ignoring the login model.
What are you talking about?
So you would do login view dot login model dot username.
Oh, okay, right. You're right. Okay, so username equals the login model dot username.
Login view dot model. Because
okay,
remember
okay.
the view being in the model.
Gotcha. Login model dot username.
Yep.
And then the password for the user equals login view dot login model dot password. Okay, and then here we have our connection ID. And here, hold on, let me fix these errors first, 'cause I'm not using commas. Here I have connection ID equals the client dot instance dot connection ID. And then I have the request code. So we're going to say here request code is set to -1 when we send it. Okay, so we have, there is a echo. What network solution are you using? Hey, what's up, Steven? We are using Unity 5 networking. All right, let's see here. So login request user. We have the user. Connection ID. Okay, so we created the user. So now, hold on here. So this is the login controller. The controller communicates with the view, and the view communicates with the model. Or no. I thought the view communicates with the controller, and the controller communicates with the model. Isn't that how it is? Like I thought the
way I've used it is the view handles so they both handle each other to understand what parameters they have access to.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
And then the view like gives you the model to the controller.
I thought like for instance the way it was supposed to, so it's a model view controller, and the controller handles communication between the model and the view. So like this is the view, and basically the view would talk to the controller to get the model data, and the same thing, like if something needed to update on the view, the model would process it through the controller and it would update the view. Maybe that's.
Oh, you mean like putting the login button in the view and then the view calling the controller?
Right. Because
Yeah,
right now, how am I
that makes more
calling?
sense.
Wait, what did you say?
That would make more sense.
Right. So maybe, is that how we should be doing it? Is that like a truer version of MVC? Or is that how I should?
Yeah,
do it?
that's MVC. That's how it should be.
Okay, so let's fix this up then. So we have a login controller that's going to process. It has the logic to process. So the view is going to call this login, and the login basically is going to grab the login model. So the controller knows about the view as well as the model. So we're going to say here public login model, and we'll call it model.
You can make the controller, because you're not using mono behavior, you can just make it a static, and then the login method can take the login model.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, so I don't need, so the login controller will be static.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, okay, so I don't need this coroutine then.
No, and then on the view, you would have a method to log in from the button.
Right, and then it would call into the login controller. So this here would be public static void login. And basically we'd call this login here, and I'd say username equals the controller, which would then equal the login model dot username is what it would access. Login model. Why isn't it letting me do that? Login lowercase model. So dot username. There we go. And then basically login model password, same thing. Alright, there we go. So now the password is accessing the login model, and the request code and all that good stuff is fine. Let me see here. Hold on. So login request user equals a new login request. Alright, it's giving me errors because of this. Alright, cool. So now this login model, an object reference is required for the non-static field. So this login model here is a static class, or it's just a class here. It's just a data container basically. So here we're going to say static string and static. And then we're going to set that from the view basically, through the client, or through the controller. So here is your username. So we're going to say login model.username. It should let me do that. Right? Login model.username. Cannot be accessed with an instance recipe. Qualify it with a type name instead. Well, that is annoying. Give me a second here. Hold on, let me clean up our scene a bit. So inside this login here, I'm going to remove this controller because now it's a static class. So here the login view has, alright, so the login view needs to know who the controller is basically, right? So we don't need this. The view is having just the visual components. And then what we're going to do is we're going to call into, we're going to say the view will have a method to populate the data, right? For the model, I imagine.
I can't see your screen, John. It's frozen.
Oh shit, what happened?
It froze like 10 seconds ago. Try stop sharing and then share again.
Yep. Here, 1 sec.
I think it's because since you're streaming, it's using a lot of bandwidth.
Oh yeah, it could be. Let me see. Yeah, I have no idea how laggy this stream is. Let's see here. Alright, so although on my end the stream actually looks pretty good, the health status is super green. It says it's doing 1080, but I don't think so. Alright, so let's go ahead and public input field username input, password input. Alright, so here, can you see the screen now?
No, still frozen.
Shoot. Oh yeah, well Skype bandwidth is, the connection speed between you is slow.
Did you want to try Google Hangouts?
Yeah, that could work a little better.
Alright, I'll send you a link.
Yep. Alright, while we wait for Sam to connect, basically we're going through a model view controller, and he's just hanging out while we implement this chat system that we're going to do next. Basically what I've done is I just separated out the logic for the login controller. I'm no longer using a Unity coroutine, I'm actually just using pure C#. And basically I'm using a web client that's part of the .NET framework to do that. So it's very similar to how I did the key generator for the alpha keys, doing the exact same thing. Alright, so we're creating a model view controller for the login system for the UI, and I'm going to continue an MVC route for the remainder of the UI, I think. I think it's a smart choice, so we're just setting up some proper ways to do that, to handle it. And actually, I think... yeah, let me see. We might not actually do a model MVC because we don't have like model data really, because we're only using it once. We might instead use a VC method, which is very similar. So let me see here. Hold on, connecting to this Hangout chat here. Alright, Sam, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Alright, so hey, you know what I was just thinking? I don't know if this is the best scenario for a model view controller setup. Instead, I think we could do what Xamarin does, where Xamarin is kind of a view controller. So it's like MVC versus VC, where it's just view controller, because all it is you're putting input in on the view and you're running some logic on the controller. And I believe that is something like MVC versus VC. I think VC is just a visual view controller, but I'm looking for where I've read that. I've heard that before.
The model is like...
oh, no. I'm sorry. It's not MVC. It's view model, and it's the model view model, basically. So like the view has direct access to the model. I'm sorry, what? Like basically, instead of having a model view controller, because in this case, we don't really need a controller. The view can just update the model directly, and the model can update the view directly. So we might do like an MVVM type deal. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Alright, so check this out. So I think that will be, because I think it's an MVC model for this might be too overkill for what we're trying to do. I'm going to delete the controller. And then, so the login model is going to have the username and password. Okay? And then it's also going to have the method for executing. So we're going to have here public void login, and then we'll update the UI as well. We would send like a connecting string or something like that back to the login view. So here we have public void login, and we're going to process the login here. So we have that message-based login. So login request user equals a new login request. Throw out its constructor. And we'll go ahead and say the username is equal to the username, and the password for that is equal to this dot username and this dot password. God damn it. Alright, and then here we need to say the request code. Request code equals -1, and the connection ID equals the client.instance.connection.connection ID. Okay, so we send all that good stuff. These now no longer need to be static, I believe. Yeah. Alright, so we have the username and password, and we'll turn these actually into properties, I guess. Get set, and let's see here. password get and set. Alright, so what we can do now is we can actually go ahead and log in. We'll say username equals this dot username and this dot password. Okay. Alright, so we'll save this. So here's our model, and then we have our view, and our view is going to be responsible for like updating the model and shit. So we're going to say public void login, or that's the login there. We're going to say public void, maybe this will be process or something like that. We'll say process login, and here we'll call public void, we'll say, I don't know, what would you even call this? Shoot, Sam, you there?
What's up?
Oh, okay. What would you even call this? What is this, for the login view? To update the info? Update user?
To update the info?
Yeah, we'll call it like update user or update info. So when we call update info, we'll go ahead and say the we need to now access
what's wrong with
this login model.
the model that we had with the getter in the center?
Oh, actually not here. I'm sorry. Here, we can actually just do this. We'll just say here. We'll say process. We'll say process process login. And then here on the model, we'll go ahead and just say login. And what's going to happen now is now we have a connection link. So here we're going to go ahead and say, okay, yeah, here we go. Here's how we're going to do this. When we call this login, and I think that's right. Yeah, okay. When we process this login here from Unity, so we're going to say public void process login. We're going to go and create a login model. So login model equals a new login model. And what we can do now is we can go and say model dot username equals the username input dot text. Model dot password equals the password input dot text. And then here what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and say we're going to say model dot process model dot login. So model.login. When that happens, what we want to do is we want to make sure that, let's see, we're doing all this good stuff. After I do that, I need to say user.encrypt or handle request. And that handle request should automatically update. Yeah, okay. The handle request encrypts it with MD5. We send it over to the server. So there we go. Now we have a model view functionality going here. Alright, so let's see here. So public void login request, we create the user, and I set it up that way. And then I say user.handleRequest, and username password gets updated from the login view. Alright, sweet. This should work. We shouldn't have any issues with this. Let's go ahead and click on the login here. That looks good. And what I need to do, I need to call that submit button. So this submit button here on click is going to be this login. And we're going to say login view process login. Very cool. Alright, dude. So we totally separated that logic out from the client. Let's go ahead and test it out. So we do a server. Alright, let's run the client. Alright, we'll go ahead and say MD5. Let's do it. Send a false one. Alright, so response from server is a 1, so we can't log in. And let's go ahead and put in the correct password. Test. And there we go. Logged into the game world. And response received from server is 0. Login successful. Sweet. All right, so all that logic now is completely separated into an MV. Okay, let's see,
Nice.
what is next? We have network management.
I finished with the diagram if you wanted to take a look at it.
Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and here, send it over to me. I'll put it on the stream. Where is it?
I sent a link over Google Hangout.
Okay, one sec. And hold on, let me get the client back open. Okay, so we're done with this now, right? So now what are we moving on to? What is your diagram for?
It's connect logic and movement logic.
Okay, good deal.
So displaying the characters and stuff.
Cool. All right, so we'll look at that, and then I want to do, I think, the chat next. But here, I'll look at the thing. It's in the chat. Okay, here we go. It says error loading file.
Oh.
Here, send it again.
I think I set some things automatic.
Let's see.
Should be it.
Yeah, it says error on line 1 at column 367. Couldn't find end of start, tag mxgeome. Same error. Check it out.
One sec. Alright, I'm gonna export it.
Okay. Or like send it to like TinyPic or something like that, and I can open a web link. Like upload it basically. Or go to Imager and just upload it there and send me the Imager link.
I'm uploading it to over Xerox.
Okay. Let's see. Form integration. Yeah, basically.
Did you get it?
Let's see. Okay, yeah. Alright, here we go. Alright, so go ahead, you can explain this.
Alright, so on the top, I listed the variables that would be contained on each one. On the client, you have the player object, which would be what you instantiate client side. And then a list of the players. It can also be an array. And then on both projects will contain a player class, and that contains action data, the player data, which could be like your inventory and stuff like that.
Okay.
Then the player position, which is going to be the position that the object on the client will be placed at. And then on the server, you have a list of all the players, and then you have a float for the speed, which is for an example in the movement.
So let's see. So when you join the game, we're going to add client to the player list.
To player list on the server side.
Yes. And then for each player in the player list, we need to create that new player so that they can see it. So on the client, we're going to have a create player, add to list, instantiate. Okay,
Yeah, so for every player that has joined already,
right,
you're gonna create a player, and then you're gonna send that to the client, and also on the server you'll add a new one to the list.
Gotcha. And then movement logic. So say you press forward, we're upping the Z plus equals your speed. So
Positions, and then for every player you send the position over.
Sync position server, and then for each player in the player list, we're going to send a message to the client of updated positions, and they're going to go through that list and basically update. They'll receive those positions. Yep. Very cool. Okay, so that makes sense. So on the client and server, so the client is going to have a list of its own player class. Is that player class going to be identical to what's on the server?
It can be very reduced down to just player position.
Okay, gotcha. And then what's the server player class going to hold?
Everything that's listed, like player, like the inventory and stuff like that.
Okay, everything related to the player.
Yeah.
Like its skills and all that good stuff. Gotcha. I assume we're going to have a message type to be able to send data over like that for the player. We'll have a player message.
Yeah, player message base.
Player message base, okay.
And you also want to, the client has to have a, on the list of the players on its side, it needs to have a list of the UNet connection. And the player has to have the UNet connection ID.
The play, okay, yeah,
So
I
it can,
gotcha.
so it, yeah, so it can check if it's itself.
Right.
So like if is mine, that checks if it.
Okay, yeah. So
Right?
like if is me, don't process, but otherwise we sync positions. I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay, we're gonna have to figure out how to manage that, because if we don't want to have multiple servers per region of the map, because we don't want to receive updates about a player who's halfway across the map and so forth. So we might have to figure out a local solution for that.
Yeah, you can implement a region-based, like checking.
Yeah, like
Like
kind of like a
where
grid
you have the
system.
sync position script, the for each player in player list, you can add an if a player, you can check if that player's position is within range of the new position.
Yeah. That'd be easy to do. All right, cool. So it won't be that bad. All right, so this is what we'll do when we get to creating the player and stuff like that, when we're getting into object spawning, because synchronization is going to be a challenge because of the way we're doing it. All right, so I'm going to save this diagram. All right, thanks. Okay, so as far as the chat system goes, right? So for the chat system, hold on, is this my client here? Yeah, okay, 1 second here. I need to make a scripts folder. I don't have one. Alright, so for the chat, I need to create the UI for this thing first. Which is also kind of a pain in the ass, because I need to create it to where when a new message pops in there, right, like it bumps the previous one up. So I know I can kind of do that with like, have you used the layout system yet of the GUI?
The layout system? Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good deal. So you know how to like kind of like use the layout grid, like vertical layout grid, kind of like shoves objects upwards, I guess. Is the
It'll
goal.
like make them uniform.
Yeah. All right, hold on here. Hey, what's up, engineer? He says, gonna use Unity's built-in unit testing for this or nah? I haven't thought about it. I don't know what we're gonna unit test yet.
Yeah, if we're doing any like hardcore logic.
Yeah, if we're doing any serious hardcore logic, which we might, then yeah, we can go ahead and figure out Unity's built-in unit testing. But for now, we're just working on the networking stuff, and we don't have a use case for it. Okay, so login system is 100% done. Let's go ahead and do the chat. So I'm going to open up the game world, and we'll get the chat UI going. So we're going to have in here a panel, and we'll call this game chat. Game chat panel. Let me see here. Game chat panel. And just want to keep the naming conventions consistent. Hold on. This is the login panel. Alright, so we have our login panel and our game chat panel. Alright, so inside this game chat panel, right? Let's go ahead and shrink this down a bit to where we want it. So I want it in the bottom corner. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and say width of like 500 and height of like what, 300? What do you think of that? Too small?
That's fine.
Alright, we'll start with that for now. Let me see here. Yeah, okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and I'll make it so we can kind of like animate this to come up and down when you hit like the whatever the chat key is in game. All right, so let's go ahead and create this. So here's our chat panel. All right, what do I need on here? Do I need a layout group on this main parent, or do I need a layout group on just where the messages will appear? Right. So the first line of this is the input field, right?
Yeah.
So this is your message, input message. All right, which will be in the left corner. All right, so here's our input message. Let's go ahead and set the width of that to, what was it, 500?
You can set it to be stretched on the bottom.
Oh, can I?
So yeah, and then you can just set left and right to 0.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, good deal. All right, so there we go. So 30 here. All right, so you're gonna be able to enter in text. Yeah. And when you hit the enter key, you'll be able to send a message. All right, so what do we need now? Now we need our actual message view rect, right?
You would need another panel, and then you would put a mask on it.
Okay, so 1 second here. So let's go and create a panel. This is for your this is for your message display.
That's going to be for the messages, yeah.
Okay, so you got your message display panel. That goes in the bottom left corner.
That would go in the stretch completely, so go back to it.
Which one?
And then the one on the bottom right, far right.
This guy?
And then you would set the bottom to be offset from the...
Yeah, so 30.
Yeah. Alright, so you would add a mask to that.
Yeah, so 30. Okay, we add a mask to this message display.
Yeah. Yeah, to that panel.
Rect mask, 2D or mask?
Mask.
Mask. Alright, show mask graphic.
Remember.
Yeah, doesn't really matter.
Alright, we'll change it later.
So as a child, on a child of that, place a... you could put the layout mask here.
Okay, layout
So
mask.
just add a vertical layout.
Layout group.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, child alignment.
And then as a child of that, put the... Just create a text so we can see how it looks like.
Yeah, and this will be the message, right? This will have to be like a prefab that we spawn in there, basically.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna instantiate.
Right, we're gonna create a pool for that. Let's go ahead and. Alright, so what do I need to anchor this to?
You don't anchor that. The layout group takes care of the position. So
okay, so where's the layout?
go back to the top.
Yeah. So what's
and
the
then
padding
on the
for this
padding,
guy?
set left.
Yep.
Just keep like changing it up.
Oh, okay, here we go.
So on the bottom where you see it says control child size, set width to true so it stretches out.
Okay. So here, hold on. Let's go ahead and say, for instance, this is how it would look in game, right? It would be like your username, and then a world. What's up? From Jonathan Weinberger. Okay, good deal. So this is the max characters right here. Let's go ahead and okay. So what do I need to do now? So my padding. This is my padding here.
You can and that one. On the message, add a. One second. So you would add a. Click on add component on the message, on the child.
Okay, on the message. Okay.
Yeah, and then click add component and add a content size fitter.
All right, content size fitter. Parent has
So
a type of
that'll
layout group
resize
component.
the.
Okay, wait. A
Make the
child
horizontal.
layout group should not have a content size fitter.
A child of the layout group should not have a content size fitter.
Since it should be.
Oh
driven by
yeah,
the layout
so
group.
remove that and move it. Add the content size fitter to the parent.
Gotcha. Content size fitter here. Let's go ahead and do.
Yep.
Horizontal fit is preferred size, right?
Horizontal would be unconstrained, and vertical would be preferred.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Ah, sweet. All right, good deal. So I brought it down there. Okay, now so what happens if I duplicate this? Oh, sweet. Check that out. You see that? Awesome.
And it should resize based on multiple lines, I think.
Right, it looks like it. Awesome. All right, so now we have a working thing. Let's just make sure that all these are different.
So if you add more text to like more objects
Testing.
to make them multi-line.
Yeah. What's up? Oh, you think, okay. Well, I don't want to make it multi-line, so I'm going to add a character limit, so that's one line, just like it is in most games. Let's see here. And YouTube. Okay, good deal. So we have here our chat messages. So as a new one is spawned in, it gets put underneath as a child here, and it's pushing the previous ones up. So what happens now if I add 6? So we're at 6 or at 7. So let's add 8. Okay, so we can get 8 in there.
If you keep on going, the mask will cover up the top, and then you can add a scroll right.
Yeah, right. To be able to scroll
and then
through.
allow you to scroll through.
Alright, so let's go ahead and get that done in a minute. Alright, so here's the last one, right? So it's just this. More random nonsense. Alright, so here's all the messages we can see. So we can see 9 messages, so that's pretty good. Now how do I add, what is this? You see that little thin strip there? Is that from the padding?
You can try going back and click on the.
Like maybe I should just make.
Try
here.
disabling
I'm just gonna have it
try
0.
disabling the content size fit. Try
Okay.
disabling the content size fitter and changing child alignment to center.
Alright, yeah. Middle center or
Lower center.
okay. So let's add some padding from the left.
And try disabling the content size fitter.
Should I tell you?
Disable it.
Yeah.
Should I tell you that you need?
Why did we disable it? Alright, so that made it so it no longer pops up anymore.
Did it work?
No. Well here, now the messages look fine, like how I want them, so I think I'm going to re-enable this. And then here, when I add a new message, okay, now it pops it up. So now the mask is being ignored though. You see that?
Wait, what do you mean?
Look, right now this is perfect, right?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Reckless Pro? We just finished the login system integration, branching out in the client server, and we are now creating a network Unity 5 chat system. So I'm doing the UI for the chat. So check it out. So it goes up. Now, watch what happens when it's at 9. This is where it needs to be masked. It's not masking. You see how it's creating that thin sliver right there?
Yeah.
How do we mask it?
So what happens if you keep on going? It's because of the content size fitter, I think.
Yeah, so it's just going up. So how do we change that?
Disable the content size fitter.
If I do that, it won't pop up anymore.
What's
Oh
in
no,
the-
here, look here. Child
Oh, you
force
want it to like
expand.
change size like
Here,
that?
child force expand height. We don't want to expand the height, right?
I think
try that
I
now.
think you do.
No, it's still doing it.
You can add a mask on top of that.
Well, we have a mask on it.
Yeah, but on top of that one, you can add another
Oh,
mask.
hold on, wait. Do I want to? Hold on. What are these? Control child size, the width, and child force expand width. Do we want to force
You
expand?
can
the height?
re-enable the height. You can add another mask to the on top of that, so it doesn't display anything past.
So how do I do
certain
that?
size.
Where do I add this mask?
So create another. You can duplicate this one. Duplicate this object.
This object
Yeah.
with all the messages.
Yeah.
All right. What am I calling this?
Clear out all the messages.
Okay.
All right, and remove the content size fitter and remove the layout mask.
What am I calling
The
this?
vertical layout group.
All right. What am I
You
calling
can
this?
just name it the message mask.
Alright, the mask.
Then
Alright, and
disable
remove the vertical
remove,
layout group.
content layout.
Remove
Mhm.
content. Okay.
And then disable show mask graphic.
Okay.
So with re-enable that, but don't the boolean inside of it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Alright, so let's see here.
So that won't display the background. And then
Alright,
make
so-
that object, make it a child of the message mask. The display panel.
Gotcha. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Alright, so now we have a different problem, I guess. So now it's masking everything. So now what?
Alright, the child of that, disable the mask. What's the error?
No, it was just something index out of range thing. Okay, so how do we get the messages back now?
So try going on the message mask and disabling that mask.
Okay.
So it displays it.
So we have that, and if I turn this one on, I want it to not be able to.
That one's gonna change size with
this
that,
content
so.
size fitter. I want to force expand. Oh, here, control child size height. There we go. Check it out. So it kind of shrunk it down for some reason. I don't know why it did that.
It shrinks it back to the padding that you have.
Oh, there we go. Here we go. The top here is 0. And if I go to... What did I just do? Here we go. Height. Forcing the height did that. How do I get this back to 0?
Because you have the content size fitter, it's going to change size based on the children it has.
Oh, so it's this content size fitter that's screwing it up. Or no. Shoot, what'd I do? Hold on. Control Z. Okay. So here, this is good. This is what I want, but I don't want it to go above. So if I create a new message right now, I think it does go above. Yeah, it's like expanding that content fitter. Right?
Yeah, because of the content size fitter. It's
So-
gonna change its size based on the children.
Children, what the fuck are you doing?
Uncontained. Oh, here, wait. What about horizontal min size? Oh, nope. Unconstrained? No. Preferred size. Okay. Vertical fit. Preferred size. Min size. Shoot, what did we actually have this at? The horizontal was unconstrained, right?
Yeah, and then vertical is preferred.
Shoot. The network system is not very happy with all the shit we're doing. Hold on. Now the what got set? This alright, so now there's a little sliver on the right there. You see that? What is causing that? And then
It's because of the padding you set up, I think.
let me see here. Here's the mask. And then inside here,
So the mask is working,
is the mask working?
right?
No, it's not. Like I can still expand. Hold on, I want to get rid of that.
No, the message mask, this parent.
Wait a minute, I'm trying to get rid of that. Whatever that little. Do you see that sliver next to the chat?
Try changing the padding to the right
Oh, here
to
we go.
negative.
No, it was
something.
it was this. The horizontal fit needs to be unconstrained. All right, so here we go. So how do we go about this? So look, if I still create a new message, it's doing that.
Go to the message mask and try re-enabling it.
Yeah, it's on. Oh, the message mask.
Yeah.
All right, so now it's on. Oh, there we
Does
go.
that work?
Yeah. Beast, check it out. Okay, so now how do we create the scroll for this?
In a message display panel,
Yep.
create a
Scroll rect.
component and call it the scroll rect again.
Yep. We're gonna do vertical scroll.
Disable horizontal.
Yeah.
No horizontal.
Yeah, just vertical. Unrestricted or
And then the
clamped?
viewport, set the viewport to this message display panel.
Message panel or oh, message display panel. Right. Okay, now
Yeah,
what?
itself.
What about the vertical scroll bar?
We don't have any scroll bars. You can just drag to test right now.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's see.
Does it work?
Oh, we're about to find out. No. It says null reference. Serialized property bindings. I don't know what the hell that error is actually. Alright, now this does not work.
So try moving the content, the scroll rect to the message mask that we just had.
The scroll rec to the message mask?
Yeah. I think that should
Oh, wait a minute, here. No, you know what I think it was? We never, did we have, oh yeah, the viewport is this message panel, right?
Mm.
Okay, so.
And then you have to add the content.
Oh, that's what we didn't do. I didn't add that. What was that the last time? So
It should
maybe
be
we had
message
it right.
mask
I think we may have had it right. So this message display panel gets a scroll rect.
Yeah.
And then here, horizontal, the viewport is that. And then the content is also this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, save that. Let's go ahead and try that. Alright, something's null, but... Oh, check it out!
Nigga, you right about.
Alright, sweet. What'd you say?
Does it work?
Yeah. So kind of though, but like, it's kind of, I can scroll infinitely. You see this?
Yeah, that's why.
Wait, it's the bounds.
That's why it should be on the mask, on the parent.
Oh, it should be on the mask?
Yeah.
The scroll rect?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to put the scroll rect. The content is the message display. The viewport is what? The message
should be the display panel.
Okay. And good. Try it out. Okay, let's see here. So, man, why is it letting me do so much here? Look at that. You see that? It's going on forever.
Maybe set the content to that.
Content
to
to what?
the mask. To the mask.
Content to the mask. Let me see. Let's see. Now.
If not, then do set the mask to the viewport and then the viewport to the display panel. I mean the content to the display panel.
Yeah. Content
so
to
like
the
reverse them.
message display, the mask to the viewport.
Yeah.
Flip it. Okay, there we go. That works.
Works?
Yep. It's got a bounce, but I can't go up or down. So let's try adding messages now. So if we go ahead and add a bunch of messages. Yeah, check that out. You see that?
Nice.
Sweet. Alright, cool. So we can go ahead, scroll up and down. Alright, oh, you know what that bounce is? I think that's the elasticity or something like that. It's this, right? Clamped. Here we go. So I believe now if I try this, we should be able to see. Alright, so now I can't scroll up or down, but if there's another message, yeah, I can scroll up just to that and scroll back down to the bottom without bounce. Perfect. See that? Yay. Alright, good deal. So we got our chat. Now we need to actually populate this. So I believe we need a prefabs folder for the message, right?
Yeah, you should create a resources folder. Or prefabs works okay.
Yeah. We need to basically store a message game object in there. Prefabs. And this is going to go on the message display panel, whatever script is going to instantiate this stuff, right? Ooh, wait a minute. Do I still need this content thing on here now? If I remove this,
What
will it
happened?
break?
The content size fitter? No, leave that.
Oh yeah, it like breaks. Oh no, wait, hold on. It doesn't actually
It
break.
won't,
One
it
sec.
won't break it, but it won't resize it. So when you have little amount of messages,
Oh right, yeah, okay.
it
So I can
won't
do
change
anything.
the size
Gotcha,
back
gotcha.
down.
Okay, so we need that. So we're just gonna ignore this warning. I don't know why I'm getting that no reference exception. Good deal. Alrighty. Any idea why? Ah, shit. I should have
Did you
played.
double click on that error? Do you know what it is?
No. Let me see. Whoops. Now it's not doing it, of course. Or maybe it will. Hold on.
Try scrolling around and something.
Yeah, now it doesn't want to do it. Alright, that's fine. Alright, good deal. So this looks good. Alright, so I have this message prefab now, right? So what... Okay, so now we're getting into, like, we have...
Did you want to
networking
add
code.
the scrolling thing first?
What scrolling thing? Oh, you talking about the scroll bar?
Like the scroll bar?
Oh, yeah, how do
Yeah.
we do that?
So on the display panel, on the right padding, add 10.
Okay. Alright.
Okay, so
Oh, wait, what if I do 50? Okay, yeah.
as a child of that, create a scroll bar.
On here?
No, not on there. The message mask, like a different object.
Oh, okay, on this one. Scroll bar, alright. Interactable is yes.
Not a component.
Wait, what?
Not the component. Object.
Oh, what am I adding?
A scroll bar. You're making a scroll bar.
Okay, where is it going?
As a child of the message mask,
Okay.
you're creating the game object.
Oh, what is it?
Like a
This?
create UI,
Yeah,
bar,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And then expand it and make it vertical. Direction.
Yep. Goes vertical. How come it's not like updating? Oh, direction. Bottom to top, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Position it where it needs to be,
Mm-hmm.
which is left corner, right corner, right?
Yeah, the right side.
Yeah.
Because it won't scale with the display panel. So if you make it a child of that and you set it as the first child, it should work.
What should the height of this thing be? Or can I get a, do they have like a, oh they do, here. They have this thing. Alright, so the top, 0, and then the width of this thing should be, needs to be more than 10 I think, right? Like 20? Ooh, definitely not.
10 should be okay.
Yeah, 10's fine. Okay, cool. So, what about, okay, now what? Value is 0, size needs to be at 1, right?
It should do it automatically in the in-game.
Okay. Alright, so just run this?
Like once you have play. Mm-hmm.
Here, I need to hook it up to the scroll rec though, right?
Oh yeah.
So here, we have a scroll bar, and then we have a scroll bar. Well, wait a minute, what? Wait, I added a invisible? Or, hold
Did you get rid of the scroll rect?
No, I didn't recall. Dude, what the hell? Did I get rid of that?
I think you might have gotten rid of the scroll rect and you replaced it with a scroll bar.
Oh, maybe. Alright, hold on. This needs to be vertical. Shit, what was the content?
The content was the display panel. And the viewport was the mask.
Okay. And then we didn't want, or I didn't want any, let's see, I wanted clamped, vertical. Alright, good deal. Now we're adding this scroll bar, right? So vertical scroll bar is there. Visibility is
Yeah.
permanent or
Enable auto hide.
okay.
That's it.
All right, let's see here. Okay, so I can't do anything yet. Now I'm gonna add a message. Sweet. Look at that. Automatically created it. Damn.
Try deleting messages like until you have like 2 or 3
Okay.
to see if it'll change size.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's going down in size. Cool. Check that out.
Nice.
So what is that? What is that display there? It has its own little background thing. You see that?
The background, I think it might be the mask or the.
Oh no!
panel.
Is it?
It's the mask, I think.
Is that the mask?
Yeah, it's the mask panel. You can change the opacity.
Oh, it's this image
The
thing,
alpha to
right?
0.
No, it's not that. What is it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it that?
Yeah, you
Oh,
can
yeah,
change
I
the
can
alpha
just-
to 0.
Well, I'll just remove the component. Although that's now it's.
No, because you need that. You need the image because the mask relies on it.
Oh, does it? Oh, well, good thing I was in play mode. 1 second here.
Yeah.
So you're saying, like the
You can
message.
change the color of the image component
Oh, okay. Just
on
set
the
its
mask
alpha to
and
0
change the alpha to 0.
on the display panel, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
On the background image. All right,
Region.
0 alpha. Okay, there we go. Yeah.
On the mask. Down.
Oh, on the mask. So this goes back. All right, on the mask, 0. Okay. Well, no, maybe not, right? You see what that did?
Oh. Okay, so I guess you were right. It is on that display panel. You can
So
set the
0.
opacity to 255 for the mask.
Yep. All right, so let's see how it looks now. Oh wait, where'd our messages go?
Yeah.
Weird. Why does that control it so much?
Why is that
weird.
changing the color of the children?
Oh, no, you know what it was? It was the mask graphic, I think.
Oh, try disabling the mask for the display panel.
Yeah, let's see. Okay. Cool. Works. Yeah, perfect. Good deal.
If you delete the messages, does it change size too? Like if you just have like a few. No. Alright, click on the display panel.
Well, it's working how it should, but you can see like it's got this like I don't want like it still has that background. You see what I'm talking about?
So click on the display panel
Yeah.
and change the
Oh wait, is it this background image?
change the background to change the alpha to 0 for that one.
There we go. Okay, so remove the mask graphic, which we did. Set this to 0. There we go. Problem solved. Sweet.
Does it work?
Let's see. Alright, so there's the messages. I'm going to delete some now. Yeah, perfect. Alright, and as we get more chats in,
background's still
you get a
there.
scroll. Cool. What'd you say?
The background's still there.
Oh, yeah, the background is for that panel. That's the this is the message mask panel, which I'm fine with. That's this guy, I believe.
Gotcha.
It's what happens if I set that to 0? Yeah. It's this. Like if I set. Oh no, it's not actually.
It's the mask.
Is it? Oh no, you know what it is? It's the game chat, dude. Yeah, look.
Oh
It's
my
the
God.
game chat. See?
All this time we've been worrying about that.
Yeah. Alright, so we can keep that for now just so we know where the chat box is. But yeah, that's what that was. Alright, good deal. So that is working. So that's now how we're going to be adding messages. So we're going to save this, save the scene and all that. So let's put our message prefab. We have this. Okay. So let's figure out how the hell we're going to network this, right? So first thing first, I need to now make it to where, alright, so now we're doing client code, right? Like when you send a message and you hit enter, what's going to happen? The server needs to take that message, verify there's no like swear words or anything like illegal characters and so forth, and then it's going to send to all clients and everyone's going to instantiate that message. Is that right?
No, you would send the raw text. You can do authentication to make sure it's a legitimate message on the client, but you would want to double check that on the server too. So just in case someone sends a false positive.
Right. Which
It
actually
wouldn't
is a
send
good
it to
point.
all
So
players.
like, okay, no, that's a good point. So a buddy of mine at work was, we were talking about this. There are certain things that you don't need to be on the server. Like for instance, that the chat message verification. We don't need to take server processing time to do that. We should actually just do that on the client. Because it's
Yeah,
kind of...
I don't know, because depending on the text font that you use, some characters might not be supported. And I don't know if you remember on the iPhone, if you sent a character, it would completely like shut down your iPhone. Remember?
Oh yeah, you're talking about that like that square people were sending out. I remember
Yeah,
that
and
a while
then
back. Yeah,
shut down
yeah.
people's.
I don't know if that would be an issue honestly with this because you wouldn't be able to. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that would honestly be an issue, but I guess you're right. We could still do it on both. So where would I start with this? Do I need to create I need to create...
I mean, on the server, at most you can keep like you can check the character length, and I guess that's it. So you don't want multiple lines or something, or
Yeah.
like text going outside the box.
Right. So I don't have to worry about that because I can limit it directly through the message itself.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and just say that the message field, right? The input message, this text can only be maximum like whatever that is that you see on screen right now, right? So you have to factor in the logic username. So let's go ahead and say like the max is character limit. Like what is 40? What 20? Is that gonna update? Yeah, let's run this in real time and see what the max character limit is. So if I were to say, hey dude, what's up? Okay, that's all I can do. So let's up it to like 50. Hey dude, what's up? This is Logic. Streaming to YouTube. Right, we need more space. Let's try 80. Streaming to YouTube. Selling lots of gold. Okay, here we go. Selling lots of gold. Alright, so this is the max, right? So we need to account for username characters. Say the max character. What should the max character for a username be? Like 16? No, not even. That's way too many, right?
What happened?
What are max character typical lengths in like games? Like max characters for a username. Let's see what World of Warcraft is doing. Alright, what's the preferred length for a username and password? Max characters for a username. What's RuneScape limit you at?
I think 30 should be good.
Okay, limit is only 12 characters. No, for your username.
In RuneScape?
It's for like
No,
your
I
username
remember.
and stuff.
What was my username?
So username, so we can do, shoot, what was that? I think it was 80, and then we'll subtract 12. So here, character limit was at 80, and here it would be like selling lots of gold. Watch on YouTube. This game is awesome. Filled with network. Filled with net. Let me see here. Okay, nope. Let's go 60.
You might also have some issues when people have different screen sizes.
For this, no, because it's gonna scale. It will scale to be this size at all times.
All right.
Yeah, it won't change. Okay, here we go. So we have here. All right, max message is that. It's way too much. 60. Hold on. Damn it, what the hell is this thing doing? So 75. Live to you all from Las Vegas. That's a lie. I'm not in Las Vegas. Alright, here. So we'll say 77 is the max. Alright, 77 is the max characters minus 12. So we're looking at 65 character length. Plus a colon, 64, plus a space, 63. So let's go ahead and just say, we'll say 60 is the max character length. Okay, text 60. Whoops. Character limit is going to be 60. Alright, so what we want to do now is we need to get the message that you sent. So here we will have a message. How the hell do I want to do that? How do I want to get the message that's in that input field and create a chat message request? How do I want to go about that? Let's see.
All right, what happened?
So
sorry, you're like
how do I?
a little bit.
Wait, what?
It's like cutting out.
Oh, okay. No, basically, how do we go about now getting this? Am I going to be doing a model view type deal with the chat message as well? I would, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and, okay. So I need to create inside networking here, or would this go in a networking folder, or what would this do? Where do I put this?
You would put it in the, you can put it in the game folder and then expand that to chat.
Okay.
Create a folder for game and then chat.
Game folder chat. Okay, so inside the chat, we're gonna have a chat view, right?
Yep.
All right. So we have our chat view. And this is going to go on the message display, I believe. No, it's going to go on the game chat panel. And then it's going to have a reference to the input message field. Right?
Yeah.
So we're going to say public input field .ui. Public input field, and this is going to be your chat message input. Alright, so this is going to be your chat message input right there. So let's go ahead and hook that up. Okay, so we can go ahead and get that text that you're sending. Why the hell, what's wrong with this thing? Why can't I put the chat view on here? Oh, okay, there we go, it didn't compile. Alright, so chat view, whoops, I'm going to put the input message. Alright, so we have the chat message input. Now what we're going to do is we have a chat. Okay, so I don't actually need the chat model, right? Because I actually have... Oh, no, I do need the chat model, right? Because I don't want to do any logic on the view. So here we're going to have a chat model. So we have our chat model. And inside here, we're going to create a new chat model. Actually, no, hold on. How did I do the login stuff? Let me see. So our login view basically had the input stuff, and then it had a process function. So we're going to have a send function. And then the model had the login functionality. So then it had the functionality to actually send it. Alright, so that's what we're going to do. So basically it generated it using the constructor and then called its handle. So that's what our chat model would do as well. So our chat model is going to be responsible for, inside here we will have a public void send message, right? So here we'll say send message and then process message. Alright, and that's our chat model. Our view is going to go ahead and say public void send. Actually, how did I name that too? Let's see, the view was called process login and then the actual thing login. So here we'll say process chat. So here we're going to say process chat public void process chat message. And then our model is going to be responsible for sending the message. Make sense? Alright, so let me see here. Let's go ahead and... Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah, Sam, is this still cutting out?
No, I'm good.
Okay. I was going to say, you could always just call my phone if it was acting up, because that way we can reduce the audio output. Alright, so check this out. So we got our chat message input. We have our public void process chat message. So in the view here, when we process that chat message, I need to go ahead and create our model here. So we're going to go ahead and say chat message. And then we're going to say message equals a new chat message. Alright, we'll create that in the constructor here for it. So every message has the connection ID of who sent it. So we have our connection ID equals our client dot instance dot connection ID, and then every message has a target, right, which we haven't really configured yet. Ooh, that's a problem. Hold on, what's it not like? Yeah, target. I'm not sure what it doesn't like. Ah, goddamn, it's this. Alright, so then every message also has a target. This will be like if it's the player or world message or whatever. So we're going to say target equals none for now. Target equals null. Alright, and then here we have our message, right? So we're going to go ahead and say here the message that we're sending. Jesus Christ. The message that we're sending is going to be equal to the chat message input, right? Chat message input dot text, and let's go ahead and do this. Alright, so that completes our constructor, and what we can do now is we can go ahead and say message dot handle message, and that will send it to the client, and the server will send that back to us, basically. So when we call handle message, let's make sure we can read the message response, which we can't. We're sending our message, and then the server will receive it and print it out. Let's make sure they got it. And then what we need to do now is we need to send it back to us on another client to make sure it gets up there. So, alright, so check this out, Sam. So we got our chat view, right? We got our process chat message. Is there like does it automatically register when you hit enter? Do you know?
What's your name?
What'd you say?
The
Yeah, like
function?
if I hit enter on the chat message, does it automatically process?
I think so. On value change method. There should be two events on an input field.
Okay, yeah. Let me see here. Here's the message display. Well, here we go. Input message. So on value change, on end edit. So what calls on end edit?
On end edit is when you press enter.
Enter? Okay, good deal. So we want to pass in the game chat panel, and I want to call that process method. So here I'm going to go ahead and say process chat message. Save. Alright, so it's going to process the chat message. Now the server needs to check it out. I mean, actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and handle that message. Alright, so chat view here. So process chat message, we're going to create the message. And then I'm going to say, I'm going to call, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm not doing this at all properly. I don't want to do this logic here. I need to actually just create the model. So I need to create a chat model and call it send message function, which will then process the message. So here, process chat message, we're going to go ahead and say chat model. Chat model equals a new chat model. Let's see, model chat model. We'll say new chat message equals a new chat model. Right, and inside the new chat model, we have zero logic, right? Yeah. So here, inside the chat model, we need to hold the public string message, right?
Yeah.
So the message we're sending. Let's see here. So inside the new chat message, we're going to go ahead and say the message equals the chat message input dot text. Right, so it's stored there, and then afterwards, here, 1 second, dude. Hello? Got a phone call. Hello? Hey, what's up? Maybe a little bit. Alright, and yeah, I'm not going to stay up too much later, but I'm finishing something. What time is it? Oh, nice. Maybe like another half hour. Alright. Alright. Love you. Bye. Alright, so let's see here. So chat model, new chat message equals new chat model. Message equals chat message input dot text. Alright, and then what I need to do now is when we process the chat message, we updated that chat model, and now I need to say new chat message. I just say new chat. What the fuck? Oh, here we go. So now I need to say the new chat message dot send message, and that will now get processed. So now we hop over to the new chat message, which is in our chat model here. This send message process is going to process the message. So we're going to say chat message message equals a new chat message. And we're going to say the message, or here, we're going to fill in the constructor. We're going to say the message, whoops, equals a new chat message. And we're going to go ahead and say the connection ID equals the client.instance.connection.connection ID. The target, we don't have a target at the moment, so we're just going to set it to null. It will eventually be a player. And then we have the chat message connection to ID target, and then the message. So the message is going to equal this dot message of the model. Alright, so that's going to call the send message on that message thing, and this dot send message. Alright, good deal. So this is super secure and awesome. This one I'll send the message after I call message.handleMessage. So we're going to say message. Here, actually I want to call this chat message. We're going to go and say message to send. For the chat model, we're going to say message to send. And then here I'm going to go ahead and say message to send dot handle message. Well, actually, I'm just going to call it MSG again. That's fine. MSG dot handle message. I'm wrapping it up right now. Alright, so it's going to call that handle message, and that's what's going to send it to the server. It's going to go here, and what I need to do before sending it is we need to add logic for illegal characters, swear words, racial slurs, anything like that that we don't want present in the game. Logic for illegal characters. Alright. Alright guys, so I think this is a good stopping point. Sam, we'll work on this stuff more tomorrow. Are you around?
Yeah.
Alright, good deal,
I'll
dude.
be here in the morning.
Alright, cool. Same here. I'll stream again in the morning. And we'll finish up this chat server, but we got the local player down, so now we just need to do the network part, and it looks like it's coming together. So, shit is pretty awesome. Yeah, we'll pick up here. I'm just going to write notes inside what we did. Time start chat system, working with MVC for the UI. More like MVVM model view model. Let's see. Finished local player chat system. Next stream will finish the networking. Alright, cool. So, alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream here and I'll continue tomorrow morning. Alright Sam, I'll see you tomorrow, dude.